Gulfport's a happening place, I tell you. We come outside on the beach. We're going to have a picnic after service. It's just amazing. Yeah. Whew, it's an amazing place. I told you I'd do that for my little grandson. I do it for you too. My little grandson, Jace, he's 5. And every time his dad says, we're going to take a picture for Memo, he goes, I'm giving Memo heart hands. So I'm going to talk to you today about planting your dreams. We all have dreams. We all have things we dearly desire to manifest in our lives. How are you doing with that? This is your check-in today. How are you doing with that? Are you living a life where your dreams are coming true? Because life can bury your dreams. It can bury our dreams. It can bury our dreams under past mistakes we've made. It can bury our dreams under discouragement. Life can bury our dreams under depression and disappointment. It can bury our dreams under having some low self-esteem. It's easy to give in to mediocrity. It is. It's easy to allow excuses to creep in. Excuses that make it easy for us to not live our dreams. And then we get so used to it. We get so used to those excuses, we just say, oh, well, we just start living them. We just start living those excuses. I'm saying that's not good enough. No, not for you, not for this community that comes out here and looks at the Boca Ciega Bay for a spring equinox. That's not good enough. So are your dreams well-rooted? What does that mean to say well-rooted? It means that those roots are so good in the ground, so strong in the ground, that it's hard to pull it up. Have you ever been pulling weeds and some of them just pull right up? And some of them, man, you got to go get a chisel and you got to go get something, dig them up on out. Those are well-rooted ones. So I grew up on a farm, and I know I've shared that a time or two. And we were in the Appalachian Mountains, and we grew tobacco. Tobacco was our money crop. And Dad worked a job. So on the weekend, Dad would set the field and do the plumb lines. You know, do the plumb lines for the rows. And he would do that work. But then come the week when Dad's away at work, because Dad was a traveling salesman. So he'd be gone most of the week. And it was Mom and the 5 of us. I don't know how she did it, but she did. And so she made us have an assembly line to plant tobacco. We didn't have those fancy machines. Nowadays people use machines. They use setters and all that to plant it. I was a setter. I was the machine. So Mama would go through and she would hoe that line. Dad had that line down and Mom would hoe that row. I don't know if any of you know what hoeing a row is. But my mama would hoe that row. And then my brother Steve would go by and set the plants because he was older than me, so he had that distance. He knew exactly how far apart those plants needed to be. And so then it was my job. I would go and there would be the little set plant, you know, a little plant about this tall. And I would make a hole to set that plant in, and my sister Lisa would bring a bucket of water and pour in that hole, and then we'd cover it back up together. So if we didn't set that plant in deep enough, the next good wind or the next good rain would tear those little set plants down, and they wouldn't be well rooted. They wouldn't grow. They wouldn't be worth anything for us because they would die. So we had to make sure we set those plants well, so that they could be well rooted. And if any of you have seen tobacco grow, it grows up a little taller than me, big old stalk. And it needs some strong roots to hold all that up. So just because you didn't set your dream deep enough, or you gave up on your dream, because I know some of you have probably done that. You had a dream, And something happened, maybe you didn't set it deep enough. And something happened to make it not happen. And you gave up on your dream. But I'm telling you, God has not given up. God has not given up on you, and God has not given up on your dream that he gave you, that he sparked with that divine spark of inspiration right there in your sacral chakra. God has not given up on that dream. And if you plant your dreams well, I promise you, God will see you through it. The universe is already conspiring to make it happen. Absolutely 100%. You plant that dream well, let it get well rooted, the universe is already conspiring to bring that dream to you. One of the things that you need to bear in mind when you're going to plant your dream is to choose fertile soil. Choose fertile soil to plant your dream in. I want you to fill that soil with passion and intention. Fill it with your passion. Bring the sun in. Nurture that dream with water and sunshine. Shine your self-confidence in it. And drench it with positive intention. And like I was talking about salt water, and sometimes you might be drenching it with a little tears and a little sweat. You're getting that sacred salt water down in there, in that dream. Because we all need a little sweat equity in our dream, don't we? But push that seed or that set plant down in so deep that it roots well. Your dream will be able to withstand a bit of turbulence. It'll better withstand the winds of doubt that may be blowing around from others. Because you're out there, you're shining your passion, and then other people start niggling at you, don't they? Mm-hmm. Doubting. They start telling you, oh, I don't know. It might be a little, you might have bit off more than you can chew there. But what are you dreaming? How are you planting your dream? Are you planting it strong and deep? Are you planting it shallow and weak? Your dream may seem impossible, yet God gave it to you. And if God gave it to you, he gave you a knowing that I'm possible. I'm possible. And this dream is possible. So plant that dream. God's going to set you where you are supposed to be. You may think it's taken a long time to come on out. You may think you're forgotten, but know that you are not forsaken. And it takes only one touch of God's grace, and it takes you to allow that grace to shine through. Because it's in you. It is in you. Oh, yes, it is. God's grace is right there within you, waiting to shine out. And you may have some stormy days. And you may look at those stormy days as a tempest to overcome. But that rain, it's going deep. It's going deep, and it's nurturing those roots. We all face challenges sometimes. It's how we use them. Because we can use them, instead of saying we're defeated, we can use them to nurture that seed. It's all part of the process. You may think you aren't seeing any forward progress, and you may be getting discouraged, but stay the course. I'm going to challenge you today to bring in a power partner. Then you're going to see that seedling break ground, and before you know it, it's going to be a good foot up off the ground with strong roots. And surround yourself with people who are in agreement with you, not those naysayers and those nigglers. Surround yourself with people who are in agreement with you in achieving your dreams. And they're there. They're right here in this community. Find yourself a power partner, a prayer partner, who will stay in agreement, speaking faith to you when you're down and lifting you up. You're stronger together. Your power partner, your prayer partner. And it may be your spouse, and it may be a friend, and it may be somebody you barely know who is in this community, but that sees that God within you and knows God is within you, and that dream is for you. And they know the infinite potential They see the infinite potential of God in you. So that power partner, that prayer partner, declare it. Find one. If you don't have one in your life, find one before you leave here today. Because I see a whole bunch. I see a whole bunch. When negative thoughts come into you, your prayer partner will speak faith to you. They'll give you those positive affirmations. They'll speak truth to keep you on track. So find that power partner who will agree with you and be in agreement with God's purpose for you. And then you be a power partner for someone else in their dream. It's a two-way street. Plant them well, nurture them, and you will see them grow. If you're lucky, or maybe you might say intentional, you'll have power partners that lift you up in different areas of your life. Maybe you have more than one. Maybe you are so blessed that you have a prayer partner or power partner for every different part of your life. Maybe your business, your home life, your personal life, your spiritual life. How blessed are you if you can say you have that? Just yesterday you were thinking you couldn't finish that book. You wouldn't stay in school. You couldn't find a way to get that business started. And look at you now. You have a plant and you have a power partner, and that dream is getting a foot off the ground. And you're not lacking. You didn't miss out on the good breaks because God is right there within you. And there are seeds of greatness in you right here and right now. There are dreams of greatness within you. You might have laid them down at one time thinking they weren't for you. But I'm going to say, pick them back up. Pick it back up. And I want you to plant it. Because it's the spring equinox today. Plant them now. And I'm going to tell you, you can't do it on your own. But you can surely co-create it with God. You can co-create it with Spirit. Plant it. One of the first things when we plant is that we must place that seed in fertile soil. How do we get fertile soil? Come on now. Do we have any farmers in here? How do you get fertile soil? How do you create fertile soil? You need to mix in a little compost. You need to mix in a little compost and maybe a little manure will enrich that soil. And where does that compost come from? It comes from the scraps. Maybe something you tried that didn't quite work out for you. Throw that in your compost pile. Put it back in there. Work it back in. We all don't hit a home run every time we come up to bat. So take those that aren't home runs and throw them in the compost pile. Let them be fertilizer for your future dreams. You know, even Michael Jordan didn't make the basketball team when he tried out when he was in middle school. But did he let that squash his dream? No, because he became the greatest of all time. He would not have become the greatest of all time if he had let that middle school coach rule his world and say, you can't play basketball, you're not good enough to make my team. No, he said, I know I am. He went in the gym and practiced his free throws. He went in the gym and practiced every day to become the greatest of all time. There's still those iconic pictures of him jumping up to make a layup. I mean, jumping over other people's heads to make a layup. That's Michael Jordan. And he didn't even make his own team in middle school. Who was better than that? You know? But he didn't let it squash his dreams. So I'm telling you, don't let it squash your dreams. You might be the next Michael Jordan out there. You know? Don't languish over every setback. Maybe that setback is just setting you up for a greater success. Take it and throw it in the compost pile. If it didn't quite work out, throw it in the compost pile because it will be fertilizer that will help you have fertile soil to plant your dreams. And that manure I mentioned? Well, we all know what that is. And sometimes It happens. You know? Well, I'm going to say, don't stress. Don't worry. Just release that stuff. Let it go right into the soil. Let it go into that compost pile. Let it go into that soil. Let it fertilize. Let it enrich in that soil. Let it grow strong so that that old compost and that manure is going to help you create a wonderful dream. It's going to help your dream flourish. Because every experience we live in life brings us to today. Where we are right here and where we are right now. Don't give up on your dream. Breathe that in. We just talked about manure. So breathe in that smell that once was so stinky, but now is rich dirt, fertile soil to grow your dream strong and true. It's time. It is the time on this planet, on this earth, to plant that seed, to plant that dream right here, right now, today. It's 11:35. It just happened. No more waiting for the perfect time, because the perfect time is here right now. And now is the only time there is. And you, my dear, you are ready. God is ready. Your power partner is ready. So let go of those excuses, throw them away, and plant that dream. We're going to watch it grow. We're going to nurture it together as a community. Because you are sitting right here today with a dream. I want you to find that power partner today. Plant that dream, because today is a magical day. It's the spring equinox, and it's time to plant. It's time to bring forth your dream. Plant that dream with passion and inspiration. Nurture that dream with confidence and intention. Root that dream in fertile soil to grow. And maybe you say, I tried it before, Reverend Kimberley. It wasn't the right time. It wasn't the right time. And no whining. Because it's going to be great. And maybe you didn't have the inspiration, and maybe you didn't have the intention, and you didn't have a power partner to keep you on track. So I'm giving you the tool, a practical tool today, to say, get that power partner, a prayer partner who will be with you. Now is the time. Pick it up. Plant that dream. Plant it. Don't let your dream be buried. Don't let your dream be squashed. Plant your dream. You may have given up one time before, but God didn't. God didn't give up. That dream is still in you. It's in there in that still small space where God is. God is still in you. Plant that dream. You may have gotten lost in the process. Kick that off. Put it in the compost pile. Put that in the compost pile if you did that. Don't let any excuse slow you down or trap you in the muck. Whether it's a person or a fear, whatever that excuse might be that comes up for you. Now is the time to plant that dream. Stir it up. Stir that compost up. Get that soil fertile and plant it. The forces that are for you are greater than any forces that could ever be against you. 100%. And in closing, I'll say, when you co-create your dream with God, the possibilities are endless and the opportunities are limitless. Don't be limited. With God, what God has for you is greater than anything anyone could ever be against you could do. What God has for you is greater. Plant that dream. Find that power partner, that prayer partner. On this day, this spring equinox, it's time to plant with the full equinox moon. How much more perfect could it be? Is a full moon with the equinox. And at the summer solstice, we're going to come right back together and we will celebrate you. Your dream, it'll be shaping into its full potential by then. It'll be blossoming. And at the fall equinox, we're going to celebrate with you as you harvest that dream. You reap the rewards because we reap what we sow. And today you're going to sow those dreams. You're going to plant them because there is a balance to the natural laws. Align with the wheel of the year. It's the circle of life. And it moves us all through despair and hope, through faith and love, till we find our place and plant our dream. We take our place in the circle of life. And so it is.
So it is.